Hi there, wonderful people. Welcome back to Stories Down Under. My name is Fran and my beautiful friend here is Stella. For those who are new to our channel is all about creating awareness in different areas of life such as finance, career, business, and social aspects of life. We both work in finance and we're based in Australia. Today's topic is about debt. A lot of people dread talking about debt because being in debt takes your self-confidence, leaves you worried, and also takes away the financial freedom. And in saying that, we just refer to the latest statistics from Australia Bureau of Statistics that says that our current household debt is at 7.3%, which is quite huge. And that translates to about 261,000 for financial year 2022. Wow. And yes, credit card, the average Australia has a credit card debt of about 2,000 and personal loan of over 6,000, which is quite massive. Yeah. Hence the reason why we thought we would address the issue of debt management, because we know a lot of books talks about ways of saving money, investing, and I haven't seen many books talk about how to manage debt. That's true, but the reality is a lot of people are sinking in debt and are finding ways of managing debt. So what we're going to talk about here today is just our own experiences, what has worked for us, besides what we have researched out there. Let's Stella start with giving us the first way of managing debt.
Very interesting statistics there, Fran. Thank you for that. So you said the household debt is around 260,000, is it?
Yes. And the the nationwide debt runs at $70 billion.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I once heard that Australia is one of the most indebted country.
Followed by, I think it ranks the second after Switzerland.
Wow.
Yes, so we are so much in debt.
Yeah. So great timing for this topic. So I think the first thing that I'd like to share is, for example, for me, when I came to Australia, being from Kenya, I realized that in Australia, you just don't say no to yourself for anything. Yeah. Because honestly, if you go to a car yard with $0, if you have a stable income, you could drive out of there with a brand new car.
BMW.
Like, it is crazy.
Or Range Rover Evoque.
You can get a fully financed brand new car in Australia, as well as like credit cards. If you go to any shop, if I see a shoe even worth $500, you could pay it with Afterpay with 4 installments. So in that case, you think of it, oh, it's not that much. I just have to pay maybe a few dollars today, and then it's ridiculous. It's crazy. So being from a country whereby people don't get debt easily, and a lot of people even have to buy their homes cash, it's very easy to get carried away and to start living above your means. So it is something that, of course, I think of to be very careful of it. And one of the things is to say no to new debts. For me, if I cannot pay for it 4 times, then I am not even buying it. So if I see a clothing, for example, some of the brands that I really love, and I'm not able to buy it on that particular occasion, I'd rather sacrifice, not buy any clothes, and just wait until I can buy. But I'm not going to buy anything with Afterpay. I'm not going to take any new debts. Every month, you probably are the same. You get a notification from the bank on you now qualify for this particular credit card with very little interest rate. And boy, is it hard to resist. But you have to say no to new debt. That's the only way to be able to attain financial freedom and to be able to sleep better at night, I believe.
Good one, Stella. With Christmas just around the corner, I have to keep telling myself, no zero interest debt, no debt at all. Everything that I need to buy is going to be cash. If I can't afford it, it's a no-go zone. Anyway, that was really good. Thanks, Stella. The next thing that you need to do if you want to carefully manage your debt and knock it off is to list down your debts. And how are you doing this and why do we do this? The reason why we list our debts is to be able to understand your debts and list them from the smallest to the largest. It doesn't matter what, there's no really reason why. You can do the opposite, but I usually prefer to list them from the smallest to the largest. You can do this on a spreadsheet, if you're a spreadsheet person, of course, we are talking from financial perspective, both of us. In finance, you can just do it on your diary. And the details that you need to be aware of are things like your current balance. For example, if it's a credit card, what's your current balance? What's the interest rate on this credit card? What's the minimum repayment? And even the date of the repayment. The reason why you need to do this is to be able to reorganize yourself financially, because you cannot reorganize yourself when you don't have facts or when you don't know how much you owe in debt. So I find it easier to list down all these debts, to get all the facts, and then to make a plan on what to do next.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, very good point there. And I can imagine how daunting it is sometimes when you have too many credit cards and you have a lot of debt. I think it's very easy to say, I just don't want to know. I just don't want to look at
Bury
it.
your head in the sand.
Absolutely. But I can imagine how that visibility brings it to your forefront, and you're able to deal with it, because the next point that I want to talk about is pretty close related to that. So you have it on paper or a spreadsheet, whichever you prefer, and you can see it, and you talked about listing the interest rate and knowing what is the remaining balance. But once you know the interest rate, that's where now you have your advantage, because you can shop around and lower the interest of these particular debts. I know there are credit cards, for example. If you have a few credit cards, sometimes you can look at all those financial providers and see which one are you able to transfer the balance of the 3 credit cards. So if you have a total of 4, you can transfer the 3 credit cards into one credit card, and most of the time they will offer you 0% interest on the other credit cards for at least for a period of 12 to 18 months. So you're saving interest on 3 credit cards for a period of 18 months. So what happens is that interest is money that you're paying to the bank. So it's not being used to prepay your principal. So you can easily use all that money that you're paying in terms of interest to even lower your debt further. The other thing is to, of course, shop around, especially this, I'm talking to the people who have mortgages here. And a lot of people, even with my friends, I've had to tell them, you've been paying with this particular financial institution for the last 5 years. Have you looked outside? Have you seen what is out there? Have you tried to negotiate for a lower interest rate with the finance institution that you're banking with? And you'll be surprised, especially if you've paid a significant amount on your interest. On your home in terms of principal, or your home has gained equity because of the market, then you're able to definitely get a better interest rate. And I want to just say what has worked for me is also looking at online banks that don't have a physical presence, as well as, smaller banks. We have the big banks in Australia, which are all known by everybody, but look at the small banks that don't do a lot of, advertising. Those small banks, and mostly they're in the suburbs. Walk in, speak to them, give them what you have in mind, and then they'll give you a better interest rate. And then if they give you a better interest rate, even before you move to that particular financial institution or to the new bank, you can call your bank and say, excuse me, maybe P&L is offering me 2%. I'm currently paying 4%. Are you able to match that interest rate? And if they cannot match it, then goodbye. And sometimes you'll be surprised that they are so worried of losing a customer, especially if you still have a lot of mortgage to pay, and they will match that particular interest rate. So please don't. Every year, I think you need to check out do a financial health check of your mortgage or any other debt that you might have, and try to find a better interest rate.
Good one, Stella. It's really unfortunate that most people don't do a financial health check. People don't want to know the reality. All they want is to live in a bubble, just thinking, I'll repay my mortgage. But you can save a hell lot of money by just reassessing your mortgage, reassessing your credit cards, and even any other form of loan that you might be carrying.
Absolutely.
Yeah. The next one is to domino your debts. So this term, domino your debt, was borrowed from my favorite book, Scott Pape, that was introduced to me by Stella. Thank you so much, Stella, for introducing that book, because it has become my Bible. And to domino your debt is to aggressively pay off your debt. A lot of people have different ways of doing this. In my case, I choose to go with the snowball method. Snowball method means I start repaying my debt from the small ones. I focus on the smallest debts first. I knock it off. For example, if I owe Stella $500, which I repay her monthly at $100, I'll quickly find a way of aggressively paying this off. Once I pay this off, I use the $100 that I pay Stella every month to knock off the next debt. So that means in addition to what I pay on the other day, I add the $100 that I've saved from paying off the debt that I owe to Stella. The other way that people do this is by using the avalanche method. The avalanche method is where you focus on debt with the highest interest rate. It makes sense from the financial perspective that you knock off high interest loans and you save on interest, but the reality is most of these debts are huge debts. For example, maybe a $50,000 car loan or maybe the mortgage. So either way, whatever works for you, but it's important that you look at that perspective. How are you going to domino your debt? How are you going to aggressively pay your debt? So whichever way you choose to use, whether you go snowballing or avalanche, make it a point. And once you clear one debt, even if it's the smallest, $50, celebrate. Go out, buy some good lunch or dinner and have a wine just to celebrate. By celebrating, it gives you that mojo, it gives you that satisfaction that at least you've got one thing ticked off your box.
Wow, that's really good. And speaking about the two methods, I think I'm more as well of a snowball method because I like to see the small wins. So if I have 5 debts, I like to just take things off my list. So
I think it's a finance thing.
Yeah.
Checklist everywhere.
Checklist everywhere, yeah. All right. So the other one that we will probably want to talk about is one that we probably sound like a broken record at the moment because we're always talking about increase your income. Yes, that will definitely help you in reducing your debt. And for most of us, I know most of you who are watching are probably professions, and one way to actually increase your income is to always look at the pay rate as in your profession. For example, as an accountant, I'll have a look at what is the income of a financial accountant with my equivalent level of experience earning within my surrounding, and I will approach my boss in the yearly review, of course, with facts of how you've excelled and why you deserve the pay raise, and see whether they can be able to match the market standards. And sometimes a lot of employers will not match this, which truth be told, they will not match if they are paying you at a significantly lower rate. In that case, shop outside. And we always talk about employment recruitment agencies. They're the best to work with. Shop around, see what is out there, and sometimes it's time to move. You're not planted in any organization. So prioritize yourself because the companies are going to prioritize their bottom line. So prioritize yourself as well. Run yourself as a company. You know how companies are quick to switch strategies. If this strategy is not working, you jump into another one. So the same thing. Try to find a place whereby you can be able to increase your income. I have seen it work for me every time. That's why I'm never stagnant anywhere. So every time I've changed my job, I've been able to really get even the highest increase I ever got was a 25% increase from changing jobs and yet doing the same job that I was doing for the previous company. It's amazing. You'll be surprised at how this can help you. And of course, you can use that money to repay your debt. I know as humans, it's very easy. That like your income has increased, so your lifestyle has to increase to match your income. So
of course,
resist that urge, resist it completely, and use that 25% increase that you're gonna get by looking for another company to pay your debt, as well as, of course, reduce your expenses. So as much as you don't want to increase your expenses, the other thing you can do, if you're not in a position to change a job, maybe you're still working into your qualifications to get more qualified in order for you to get a better opportunities, then in that case, reduce your expenses. And by reducing your expenses, we're not here about telling you not to drink your coffee. We're just here to tell you, sometimes it is something I did recently. I went to my online banking and I looked at how many other companies that my card is linked to. So I could see all these subscription, Audible, Uber Eats, and all these other things. And I could see how much I spend on all this. And some of the subscriptions I had not used for months. And I was like, what is this doing here? I've been paying even if it's a little amount of $20 every fortnight, it's you don't need it. If you don't use it, remove it. And you can always ask, if you're not able to see it in your online banking, you can call your bank to provide you a statement of your frequent payments, and you're able to cross-check and cancel anything that you're not using. So try to reduce your expenses, increase your income, and with that, you will definitely have more money in your hands to pay your debt.
That's it, Stella. Very good one. And finally, how are we going to do it? We can go an extra mile to sell items that are associated with the debt. For example, if I had bought Lamborghini on a car by a car loan and it's just sitting in the garage, I rarely use it because obviously using a Lamborghini every day to work can be a bit of a task. The first thing I would think of is to sell this Lamborghini and then downgrade. By doing that, I will knock off that huge debt and even get out of debt completely. Also, sell things around the house. We are, as human beings, we have a tendency of just buying things that we don't need. Sometimes maybe during weekends, look at your closets, look at your drawers. You'll find that there are clothes that still have price tags on them. Put them out on Facebook, put them out on Gumtree, anywhere, sell them. And the proceeds that you get, you can use to either use for other expenses or knock off these debts.
Absolutely.
In that way, you'll find that you declutter as well as paying off the debts.
100%. Yeah.
Anything else that you might have in mind, Stella, that we might not have exhausted?
Not really, but I think I have a task for the weekend.
Yeah.
I need to see what is in my house that I can sell on Facebook Market.
Please
and get
do
some
that and thank
money
you
to
later.
treat myself. Anyway, so with that said, thank you so much, guys, for watching. We really do appreciate, and thank you for all the 6,000 of you that are subscribed to our channel. You have no idea how that motivates us. Please continue to subscribe for those who haven't. Like, share, and kindly engage with us on the comments. We really love to hear from you. And on that note, we appreciate you, and we hope that you are going to be able to domino your debt and to be debt free, and together we can attain financial freedom. Thanks for watching.
All the best.
Yeah, and bye.
Bye-bye.